I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter is Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Nottingham Forest 3. I think there was a harsh scoreline in the end, but at the same time, was that just a classic case of one side taking the chances and the other one's falling short when it mattered?
Yeah, look, Wolves. Yeah, if they take the chance in that first half, it could be very different. Equally, if you make those mistakes defensively and you hand opportunities to the other team, you're going to struggle in the Premier League to get results and good points. So we've seen lots of good things in these first 3 games under Vitor Pereira, and we saw, not necessarily from the managerial point of view, but some of the glaring negatives from this team where they need help. Not only are they struggling defensively this season already, but they then add injuries and illnesses and things like that on top of it, and this looks like a struggling defence, doesn't it? The first goal is poor from a Premier League team's perspective to allow one pass to bypass both midfielders. Santi Bueno doesn't seem to be sort of aware of where he is, and it's an easy bit of quality and a bit of finish from Gibbs White. The second one, after Wolves had so many chances to get back into it, I think for Matt Doherty to allow that ball to bounce, I think he believes they're playing an offside trap, I think, and Santi Bueno doesn't play that. It's onside, he gets absolutely battered by Hudson-Odoi, and then Santi Bueno completely loses Wood. And the third one is nothing really after a second half that was completely dead. Wolves never got back into the game at all, really.
And like you say, the frustrating thing is between that and one Gibbs White opener and Chris Wood's second goal for Forest, Wolves were not just the better side, but created the better chances and should, if not, well, they could, if not should, have been ahead going into that half, because, I mean, Jorgensen and Larsson another night could have had 3 or 4 tonight, and there were other players as well, but I think Larsson will look at that. 2 fantastic chances in that first half, and he's got to score both of them, really.
No, 100%. The first one is they sort of Hwang pounces on loose balls and they charge us forward. We couldn't see originally from with no replays here. We managed to catch one just before half time and see how big a chance it is for Larsson. I mean, he's 3 or 4 yards out and it should be a tap-in, and he manages to keep it straight at Murillo. And the second one is a wonderful cross, by the way, from Rodrigo.
Oh, amazing!
It was Wolves' best player tonight.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, faded last 20, but so did a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly. Whips in a wonderful cross, and Larsson, I know it comes at him quickly, but it's a header from 5-6 yards. It's point blank. He's got to get. He does it at the target. He's got to score. Hits Sal sort of in an awkward position on the arm. I think he gets a little bit unlucky that maybe doesn't go through the goalkeeper as well, but he has to score that. And if he does get either of those chances, it's a very different game. The second goal completely killed it as a contest, really, because Wolves had no real answers in that second half.
And we'd seen Nottingham Forest style of play for quite a few years here, at least a couple of the glory years, because that's exactly what Nuno's Forest side do. They get you on the counter and they take advantage. And look, they're in great form, the players are in great form, supreme confidence, and they don't miss when you're third in the table. I don't know whether they're second tonight or not, but that's a team full of confidence and they put away their chances. Frustrating, really. And I guess from my point of view, Liam, you're looking at that second half and he made changes and no one really came on and did much, I didn't think, really added to the game. But 2-0 down, you want them to have a bit of a go, and just didn't do much second half, really. I think one shot on target in the second half, not enough when you're chasing the game.
No, I think if it's 1-0 at half time, it's probably very different in that second half, but that's not an excuse for not coming out and performing. The crowd were flat, but understandably so, at 2-0, and the players have got to give those fans a reason.
The Wood goal was a hammer blow at the end of that first half.
Yeah, it really was, but it shouldn't be used as an excuse to come out in that second half and be so lackluster, lacking any real tempo. As you say, the substitutes didn't make any difference. I could go through all of them, really, and you didn't really see any impact. So all of those things combined resulted in a pretty dire second half. Yes, Wolves had a lot of the ball in Forest's half and Forest's box, but we're nowhere near really scoring. And then obviously they get a late third, which doesn't really count for much. It just adds to the gloss for Forest and the poor nature of the result.
At the same time, you look at it, and Nottingham Forest, they're going to get the flowers, and quite rightly so. They're having a fantastic season, and this is a great result for them tonight. But what a great game for them to come here for. You're missing your best player, Mateus Cunha, who, as we saw tonight, I mean, just missed all over the pitch, really. And then you're struggling defensively. Of course, we've got one coming in, but you lose your captain, Nelson Semedo. You lose Greg Dawson, both through injury, and you've got Pedro Lima starting his first Premier League game. You've got a back three that includes Ryan Aït-Nouri, Santiago Bueno, and Matt Doherty. I mean, if you're ever going to play Wolves on a night, this is the night to play them.
It's not a Premier League back three, is it?
No.
Doherty's been in fantastic form of late. It was probably his poorest game of his recent starts tonight. Not quite up to scratch. Santi Bueno was really struggling defensively and physically against Chris Wood. He actually improved in that sort of latter half of that second half. But for both goals, I don't think he covers himself in glory. Doesn't do particularly well, and Aït-Nouri obviously is not a centre back. So you look at those three as a back three, and regardless of how
Against a
well
side that are flying.
exactly, and regardless of how well Rodrigo Gomez did, I thought Lima did relatively well without being outstanding. Regardless of those two, having a back three like that is unacceptable at this level. That obviously injuries are going to have an impact on that, of course they are. But Wolves bringing in this signing, it's going to be massive because they just need an out-and-out centre-back in this formation and a bit more depth in that area.
At the same time, look, they've got a game on Saturday, but Premier League survival, of course, is the priority. I think we'll go there to Bristol City. I don't think a cup run is the top of the priority list this season, and we'll see what team he plays. But the most important game, of course, is Newcastle United on that Wednesday night. What you have got, and the good news is that Wolves are halfway through the season. They're still not in the relegation zone, and yet it's been an absolute disaster. So hopefully we're looking at a second half that's going to be better. You've got Mateus Cunha to come back into that side. We'll see how bad the Nelson Semedo situation is, and potentially a new signing at centre back as well. So there are positives, and Andre as well, of course, who missed the game tonight. I think they missed him. Toydor, I thought, had a disappointing game from his point of view.
Yeah.
So the team that we'll see at Newcastle will be probably a lot different to what we saw tonight, and I think they'll probably carry a lot more attacking threat and defensive stability.
Yeah, I think so, and that's the beauty of having a January transfer window, which they desperately need, and being able to hopefully get some players back. As you said, we don't know yet the extent of the injuries to Dawson and Semedo. We're going to speak to Vitor Pereira and hopefully get some sort of timeline there. Totti Gomez is about 1 or 2 weeks away now, so hopefully, not too long to wait for him either. Maybe that Chelsea game, maybe the week after. So with these players coming back, it does look like a very different team, and with January, of course, adding to that. But look, I mean, having Cunha back is going to be massive because not only is his attacking threat, and yes, he is emotional. We know what he can be at times, hence why he's banned right now. But he is also a bit of a leader on that pitch, and I think Wolves are missing that at the moment.
Wolves 0, Nottingham Forest 3. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.